Ever since India introduced the new IT rules, while Facebook and Google have complied with the guidelines, Twitter took the road of a wannabe martyr. Twitter defied the laws of the land and tried to make the government of India dance to its tunes. However, it ended up losing its intermediary status, thereby opening floodgate of legal cases against it. Now, with the appointment of Ashwini Vaishnav as the new IT minister, Twitter has finally surrendered. Hi and welcome. You're watching TFI English, the national socio-political analysis arm of TFI Media Group. I'm your host Piyush, and in this video, I'll tell you how Twitter has finally surrendered before the government of India. So let's begin. The microblogging platform Twitter is taking baby steps towards behaving itself. After having been stripped of its intermediary status and being exposed to a volley of criminal litigation in India, Twitter has now started falling in line. Interestingly, the American media company, which has a thing for curbing conservative speech, was also wrapped by Delhi High Court for its blatant disregard for Indian laws and was directed to comply with the new IT rules without fail. In the latest news, Twitter India has appointed a grievance redressal officer as mandated by the new IT rules. Twitter has also published its first compliance report in line with the IT rules. Twitter was trying to play smart with the government of India, and its earlier moves of hiring an interim grievance redressal officer based out of United States were not appreciated by the Modi government. Now, Twitter has named Vinay Prakash as its resident grievance officer and provided an email contact ID for users to directly contact him. Twitter on Thursday informed the Delhi High Court that it will take another 8 weeks to appoint a resident grievance officer in compliance with the new IT rules. In an affidavit to the Delhi High Court clarifying the stance on the issue of compliance under the new IT rules, Twitter said that it was in process of setting up a liaison office in India. Twitter's appointment of a proper grievance redressal officer comes after Prime Minister Narendra Modi overhauled his cabinet and brought in Ashwini Vaishnav as the new Minister of Electronics and Information Technology. Fresh into his office, Ashwini Vaishnav had shot off a warning for Twitter. The new minister on Thursday said that the law of the land is supreme and Twitter will have to fall in line with the new social media and intermediary guidelines. Vaishnav was quoted as saying, "Whoever is a citizen of India and those who stay in India will have to abide by the laws of the country." He was, of course, speaking about Twitter's employees in India who are required to abide by the Indian laws. Meanwhile, Twitter has filed its first grievance redressal and compliance report, in which it claimed to have acted against 133 posts for reasons ranging from harassment to privacy infringement, and has suspended over 18,000 accounts for child sexual exploitation and non-consensual nudity. Twitter said it had suspended 18,385 accounts for child sexual exploitation, while 4,179 accounts were suspended for promotion of terrorism. The report also stated that between May 25th and June 26th, Twitter processed 56 grievances that were appealing for account suspensions. These were all resolved and appropriate responses were sent. According to the microblogging site, we overturned 7 account suspensions based on the specifics of the situation, but other accounts remain suspended. Google and Facebook had already submitted their compliance reports to the Indian government. Twitter seems to have realized that the new team put in charge of the information technology is not to be messed with. Therefore, it has appointed the grievance redressal officer and submitted the redressal report. Twitter is also required to appoint a nodal officer and a compliance officer. It would be interesting to see how Twitter falls in line on those counts. In June, due to its obsession with locking horns with the Modi government, Twitter suffered a big jolt in the markets. Soon after, it lost its intermediary status in India, and with a clear intent on part of the government of India to punish Twitter, a rally was triggered in the New York Stock Exchange listed stock. The stock closed at $59.93, down 0.5% on the New York Stock Exchange. That was not the first time Twitter's stock took a huge hit due to its fight with the Indian government. On May 13th, Twitter's stock fell to a low of $50.11. India is one of Twitter's biggest markets, and no company would dare to kick its own business. According to Statista report in January 2021, the company reported 353 million monetizable daily active users. In 2020, Twitter's annual revenue came to 3.72 billion US dollars. However, the company has only been able to report a positive net income in 2018 and 19, revealing a struggle to monetize its users. Twitter is no longer guaranteed an intermediary status in India. As such, it is liable to be prosecuted under relevant sections of the law for any harmful and illegal content posted on its platform. It is liable for the prosecution now, and the barrage of cases that Twitter India is facing speak to the same effect. The social media giant has already been named in 4 significant cases in various states. The American company has realized that it is in no position to fight a battle against the Modi government, and that it would be in its best interest to follow the directions of India's new IT Minister, Ashwini Vaishnaw.